Did this stream just start? Because I think I was just talking for 3 minutes and realized the stream wasn't on. I apologize for that, guys. I'm not even sure the software was on, but I think the YouTube was not yet hooked up onto it. So let's get started again. I'll go a little bit faster now since we're now a little bit behind schedule. Morning, guys, though. Welcome back to the live stream where we first review the watch list and we trade the market open every day. Hope everyone got, their coffee and their whatever tea or whatever ready to go. I got both today. Today's the 19th of May. It's Tuesday. It's 9:15 a.m. or no, it's 9:18 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got another 12 minutes before the market opens at 9:30. The stream wraps up around 10:45 a.m. Check out the video description below for some FAQs. Let's dive into things. And good morning, everybody. Okay. Yeah, it looks like I was just talking to myself for the last 3 minutes, so that's fine. We got some interesting stuff going on here, and I was kind of excited this morning. SPY is down 1% roughly. And we got a lot of small caps kind of popping up on our scanner. So let's see what we can kind of dig out of here. And you can see my scanner here on the left. And also, I just removed the image, unfortunately. But let me see. Can I make this small screen? Here we go. Let me open Tuesday. So this is the TOS issue that I got, and I'm sure some of you guys got it as well. So I placed a few orders, and eventually I took a picture of one as an example. Buying 30, we have failed to deliver your orders. Buy 31 YCBD at this limit order. And then I got this error as well. And that was happening pre-market, well, obviously now, but it seems to be gone. I restarted TOS. It gave it some time and it's gone. So hopefully they fixed whatever that issue was on their end. Let's quickly go through the watch list. There's a few things moving here, and DVAX, I almost bought them pre-market. I was pretty close, and honestly, looking at it, I kind of wish I did. It's looking pretty hot. So DVAX could be one of the ones we're going to trade out of the gates. We got YCBD lead from yesterday, and this was kind of annoying. I took this trade yesterday. Let me see if it's going to pop up and populate on the chart. So yesterday, YCBD, we were looking at it, and then eventually pulled back to VWAP, didn't break VWAP, pulled back above it. It had a nice 5-minute breakout, 1-minute pullback. I got a pretty sweet entry, but I was looking for a continuation, and we didn't really get that at first. I would have probably got faked out on this one, if anything. So probably a good thing I didn't hold, but this, yeah, eventually it was looking pretty hot. So getting long on this one, maybe a little bit later on a breakout like here would have been better for me. But, by 12, I'm typically not looking at the market anymore. So that was my one attempt yesterday. And then I had one more trade on the former elite gapper SRNE on a dip. But it also didn't really amount to much besides a little bit of a green bounce. So this was actually my SRNE trade somewhere in this area. I think it was right here as we started pulling higher again, and then the price pulled back. So I just wanted to review these two very quickly for you guys. Could have been good if I held past pre-market, but we would have been down at one point, 12%. So that's a big risk. So I eventually got out when the breakout was weak, and here you can see this time it made a lot of sense. When the breakout is weak and it doesn't continue, or it does continue, then it's like, oh, Alex, you got out too early. But this time, boom, after I got out, it went down 5%. So, just managing my risk there. And, when the breakouts are weak, there's usually a reason for that. Okay, so not to mention SRNE, you had to be extra careful because it was trending to the downside yesterday. Okay, let's go back here. YCBD. I'm not sure if I'm going to trade this one. Probably not. It's got such big resistance here at 2.2. I don't really find it super interesting. Maybe it's going to have a nice little gap and go breakout, but then it might just pull back. I don't know. Second big green day. We'll see what we get out of it. I have an alert up here. I think out of the gate, it could be an interesting move. I think this could be a quick 10% pop, in all honesty, but I don't know if I'm going to trade it. I think it's going to be very tough if it does happen to get a good entry. DVAX. Looking at very closely, this is the one I was talking about. Would have been nice to trade pre-market. I should have, could have, would have done it. Let's go back here. Phase 1 coronavirus vaccine news, 60% gapper, 85 million float. That's a big float, US biotech, but it is looking kind of nice in terms of, you know, pre-market holding its high 778. So we went all the way pretty close to here actually. Pretty sweet move. I would like to see this thing break $8, and I think we could have a nice little run to 10. So we'll keep a close eye on this one. Yeah, I think out of the gates, watching DVAX is going to be really interesting. I'm going to already put this one up on my second chart, DVAX. Let's keep going through the list here. There's kind of a lot to talk about, so I'm going to try not to take too long on any one of these stocks. ABUS, another lead gapper I'm looking at, 70% gapping up in the morning, 44 million float, much nicer. USA Biotech, hepatitis B drug results that are quite positive. So this could be interesting. Does have some resistance above, has been on a pretty solid uptrend. So I don't know if it's overextended or not. Big resistance at 275, which is now support. Ran all the way to 315. So we're kind of in this area. Maybe we'll break past these areas here, but this will be kind of interesting to watch, see how it goes. 3.3 is another big resistance zone. So in terms of window and opportunity on this one, it's not my super favorite, but definitely will be keeping an eye on it. Another one I'm really interested in is KIRK. Another one that I had a limit order even on this one pre-market. I don't know if it shows here. It should show. Yeah, at 220 and 221. I removed it though because I was still doing other things. So that would have been a perfect little entry. I would be up 6% already. This one's looking pretty good pre-market as well. It gapped up 100% pre-market, but the thing I don't like about it is pulled back to all the way 30%. That was kind of aggressive pullback, but the float is nice. 13 million float. That's sweet. It's a US retail company and they had some e-commerce sales reports and their stores are opening. So kind of double-ended news, but overall, I like the e-commerce part a little bit more. So KIRK out of the gates, I think this is going to be quite an interesting one to watch. I definitely want to be watching it. OGEN, kind of sub-dollar. Typically I'm not watching these too closely, but I don't know, it could be interesting. But for now, I probably won't be paying too much attention to it because we have some really nice other opportunities out here. Here's another one that I find quite interesting. NNDM, in our price range between actually not in our price range, that's what I meant to say, between $2 and $7, but 95% gapping up in the pre-market, 7.7 million float. That's the nicest float we've seen so far. Remember, we're typically looking for south of 50 million and ideally south of 10 million. It's an Israel computer company, and they had some breakthrough in electronics 3D printing, and I was going through some of the articles there. It's actually quite interesting. Basically, they can now, you know, printing, apparently, what was it, motherboards or something like that was always very, very tough and not possible. And for the first time, it seems to be becoming a thing that's actually possible. But you guys can read these articles on your own time, you know, find them on Finviz or TOS. So kind of interesting stuff there. I see you guys are looking at PIXY. Let me quickly throw this up as well. I think I just went through, oh yeah, actually it's just popped up in my scanner list. Yeah, PIXY absolutely exploding here pre-market, huh? What was the catalyst on this one? Franchise partners, Del Taco to combat. Thing about PIXY is that that float, it's tiny, so it doesn't even need good news to really run that much. Doesn't seem like I'm based in getting an announced partnership with operator. Could be a big restaurant chain. Okay, yeah, so that's probably a big deal then in terms of collaboration and getting their solution to all the stores. Big resistance at 14. We'll see how this one goes. I wouldn't mind buying maybe a dip off of 10. So just a lot of interesting stuff. We always want to be, we got another 2.5 minutes before the market opens. We always want to be thinking, what is the most obvious lead gapper? What's everyone looking at? The thing I like about PIXY, it's a former runner with some interesting spikes. Usually doesn't hold its highs that well, so just keep that in mind. We had a lot of spikes here that just don't hold the highs as well, but we're above the 180-day moving average and we're pulling back to that. That's kind of nice. So we went all the way to 13 so, and now we're kind of pulling back here. So it could be a really good bounce trade at one point. Got to keep a close eye on PIXY Whew, a lot of stuff, guys. A lot of stuff. I think out of the gates, what are we going to watch? I got DVAX, I got KIRK on another chart. Got another minute 50 here. PIXY still pulling back. This PIXY could be a great trade. We actually had one recently like PIXY that was quite interesting. I can't remember the ticker right now. Big move though out of the gates. This is apparently this contract winner over 100%, and that 1 million float is just super nice on it. So big contract winner. Okay, so still looking at DVAX. I really think this pullback here with PIXY could be really good. I'm going to keep a close eye on about 10.5. YCBD, I probably won't be watching this one. I find it one of the less interesting ones. DVAX, I really think this could have a quick pullback and then really run a little bit here. Already picking up. So let's see how that one goes. Kirk doing exactly what I wanted it to. In terms of the most obviously gapper, I think PIXY is now kind of taking a lot of attention. If it has another pullback, I wouldn't mind buying it in the 10.5 zone. So maybe we'll get a trade on that one first. Got another 15 seconds till the market opens. Good luck, everyone. I'm still watching DVAX as well. Kirk's pulling back. PIXY pulling right back up here. DVAX pulling back a little bit, finding some support. Keeping an eye on for potential red to greens and open range breakouts. PIXY got halted. It's going to give us a little bit of time to look at some other things. Kirk could be pulling back higher here. $1.3 would be a nice break point on Kirk. DVAX pulling back again. We could see a break here at 130. Bit of a failed breakout on KIRK. YCBD. This is the move I was talking about on YCBD. Potential for that quick 10%. And it looks like it's happening here. Breaking past the 218. Big resistance above it, which makes me a little bit suspicious. PIXY halted. Big drop on NNDM. Could be having a bit of a reversal here. at 18, 118, finding some support here. Watching DVAX and Kirk as well. Both are in potential red to green moves. Keeping an eye on the scanner, seeing what has big volume. NNDM pulling back maybe one more time here, could get a better entry. DVAX is breaking right now. Percentage change on it is a little bit tight. Not super stoked about it. Having a bit of a first pullback right now. Buyers coming in. 4 minutes now since the market opens. No trades yet for me. PIXY should be opening back up. I'm going to go back to PIXY. It's going to open in about 13 seconds here. DVAX and Kirk are just not as exciting as I was expecting them to be. Let's see what happens here. PIXY ripping out of the hole. Another move, 12%. Congrats to anyone that got long PIXY. Big move there out of the gates. 14 is such big resistance. That made me a little bit nervous about wanting to enter that one. So entering PIXY pre-market actually would have been probably a surprisingly good pick. It's always tough to say that though. DVAX absolutely pulled back super aggressively. Could be a bit of a bounce here. Again, I wasn't feeling that the breakout was that nice. And not to mention the possible percentage return was also not that nice. Big selling on the open. So it had the red to green move, but that was just about it. It was a very short-lived red to green move. Look at that just giant spread on PIXY. It's good fun to watch. So far, no trades yet from me. Seven minutes into the market open, no trades yet for me. I was a little bit undecided on the leak app around what I wanted to watch out of the gate, especially with PIXY kind of flopping in on the charts the last minute. Good fun, very exciting. I like the energy on it, but again, didn't get aggressive in time on it. Kirk and DVAX both pulling back here, not looking too exciting, although I do believe Kirk can find some big support, maybe above 115. This could be the kind of second main pullback here before maybe a continuation. It's hard to say. $15 is a critical zone. We also have the high here of the former candle at 17. So maybe we will see a rip to 17. It's been a big first leg though. Up 116%. PIXY's definitely taking the first spot on lead gappers. We have NNDM though coming in as well. Kind of a choppy open, but I do like this one. This is the one with the 7.7 million flow, gapping up 75 million. 95%. Israel company with the 3D printer on the electronics. Kirk finding some support here. Could be a little bit of a red to green move. Still pulling back. Surprising sellers on it, I gotta say. PIXY pulling back as well. Sometimes I feel like there's a big amount, there's just such a big chance for a potential halt on PIXY. I have a limit order at 11.5 roughly, a little under that on PIXY. So maybe we'll get a little flash pullback here. Here we go, PIXY pulling back. I think PIXY will get halted here, but I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing since they have fairly good news. Yeah, positive volatility here. So let's see if we could maybe get an entry on it when it opens up. This one's going to open up at 47, so let's keep an eye on that. For now, I just have a limit order out, so I have a little reminder here. Watching NNDM. We're not seeing the continuation on some of these that I was expecting. DVAX, KIRK, and NNDM are all still kind of pulling back here a little bit. Kind of a choppy open for NNDM. We might get some really nice reversals around 10 o'clock, 10:05, something like that. That's what I'm going to be keeping an eye out for right now. See where the volume's coming back in on. Remember, our second lead gapper is NNDM, so this one could start doing something nice at one point, but right now, you know, it's holding the area pretty okay. I think that's probably what it's doing the best. OGEN, I'm not sure. TTOO. If this thing breaks $1, it really does have nice little 20-30 cents to run. ABUS pulling back, big resistance above. Morning, Shane. DVAX still pulling back. This thing is, I'm trying to think, like, where could this one maybe have a potential reversal? It looks like at the $6 area it could be quite nice. Definitely going to put an alert here, see if we break back above VWAP. I would like to get aggressive on it. We have some big resistance here at kind of 1.4 to 1.5. A little bit of action finally in Kirk. Look at them sellers there at 125. Nice, Heiko. Definitely getting chipped away a little bit. All right, PIXY's opened up here, watching it, looking for a potential entry. Just missed that. Perfect bounce off the 1.5. I thought we were going to chip that 11.5, not 1.5. Instantly going back down. I think we're going to get a little halt here, actually. Looking for the bounce off 11. A lot of sellers on that one. Closed this position as we broke the 11. Didn't want to be part of that any longer. Maybe I got out a little bit too soon. Kind of an interesting little setup there. Let's just kind of keep watching this one a little bit. Did take a smaller position size. Sometimes my first trades are a little bit shaky, so that wasn't too bad. Let's see what we get here. Back at 10, 11.3. Pulling back again. That's kind of what I was scared of. Big support at 10 for sure. Looks like I had the right idea. Might have just had very quickly the wrong timing on this one, which is a little bit unfortunate. DVAX might have a bit of a reversal here. 11.25. It's a little bit annoying that I got out under the 11. I didn't really want to get out under the 11. That was kind of a little bit of risk that I had to deal with, I guess, that it would move too quickly. Kind of got stuck into this position a little bit too long, but kind of hit my max stop loss area and then it kind of got out, so that's fine. DVAX breaking up here, a little bit more volume finally coming back into it. I'm not totally convinced on it yet, although phase 1 coronavirus vaccine news is never a bad catalyst. We've been seeing quite a few of them, and they've been performing quite nicely as well. Back at 11. 11.20. Nice little bounce here on PIXY. This is what I was waiting for. This is the exact bounce I wanted. I actually tried to cancel my order, but I clicked it literally when I got filled because I thought, okay, that first bounce didn't work. And oftentimes when the first bounce doesn't work, there's going to be a bounce past the former or another pullback past the former low. And that's when I was like, I want to get out of this one. Try to get out, and it didn't work. So I think there's probably a good chance that I would have had a green trade if I just clicked the cancel button like, I don't know, 1 second earlier, but you never know. So first trade, red, a little bit unfortunate, but that's just how it goes sometimes. That's why I like to make my first position size a little bit smaller, just so I don't have to, worry about digging myself out of a hole or anything like that too much. Look at Kirk, such an aggressive pullback. These are kind of the things I've been a little bit worried about with Kirk and DVAX. That was a 7% candle. I'm gonna go put an alert here, see if PIXY pulls back a little bit further. It could, this could be the end of the potential bounce. These are sometimes tough ones. So I'm just gonna kind of watch this one. So PIXY leads small cap gapper with 87 million. NNDM, kind of an interesting play as well. Kind of holding this area. It's 952, so we could start seeing some new momentum coming in here on some of the stocks that are just kind of holding their highs a little bit. Oh, right as I say that, NNDM breaks above VWAP. I like what I'm seeing. This one's a little hard to get an entry on properly here. Oh, I didn't actually have to change that order. Have an order at 1.2 on NNDM, looking for maybe a, I don't know, just kind of keeping my order out here. It's the extended decimal places, and with TOS, it's very, very annoying to sometimes get an entry. So I'm thinking this one could kind of almost glitch down to that just because it's a key area where people can put limit orders. But I don't think we're really going to get past 1.22 if we do have a quick pullback. But I'm just going to leave this here just to watch it a little closer here. Watch PIXY again at... Yeah, so this is exactly what I wanted out of PIXY. This one's kind of painful, I'm not going to lie, because I even had the right instincts to get out of the trade. I just didn't exercise that instinct quick enough. I kind of hesitated for a split second, and that second kind of cost me this trade, which could have easily been a 10% profit. I love these kind of quick dips on a stock that just rallied super hard. They can be quite nice. So yeah. There's really nothing to say about this one besides I just didn't close that entry quick enough on this time. Here we go. Might even break past 12.3. Ooh. Good fun to watch at least. Unfortunately, we're not in it. It's even worse when you call out a move like that and somehow you lose money. That's always the worst, but what are you going to do? Can't get them all. Definitely going to keep a close eye on this. NNDM having a VWAP breakout. Technically, this is a 5-minute breakout, 1-minute pullback, but with the VWAP breakouts, they're sometimes a little sketchy. They pull back very aggressively sometimes. They're tough. They're not really my favorite entries, so I'm probably not going to trade it yet. We have big resistance at 1.4. I think NNDM could have a really, really nice kind of second morning. So let's see what we can get out of this one. DVAX kind of found a little bit of a bottom at 6.4. That'll be interesting to see if that holds a little bit here. Kirk pulling back. It's going to be sub-dollar soon at that rate. PIXY at 1327, guys. That dip was perfect. I had a feeling it was going to be really nice. Just had to cut losses at one point. Nice trade, Heiko, on that one. Really, really nice. Beauty, beauty. There's going to be a TOS, TOS, a trade journal update probably by Saturday. It's not going to be any UX or anything like that, but there's going to be some code efficiency updates. So the stats page, I know you guys probably noticed that it loads a little slow. So things like that will be fixed. Definitely overall the site will run a little bit faster, especially where it's trade heavy. Nice move so far on PIXY. I like what I'm seeing. Pulling up higher here. Healthy pullback, hopefully. Maybe we'll get a bit of a continuation. One trade so far for me. Unfortunately, a red trade, $43 loss. Not too big of a loss. Took smaller position size. Knew that it was a little bit of a quick mover and it has not found the bottom yet. So I definitely jumped the gun, maybe just a tad bit on it. I actually knew the trade wasn't perfect when I didn't get the first entry that I wanted. That's usually a sign that maybe it's a premature bounce or something like that. And that's what I was thinking. Nice, Najee. Second pullback here. I gotta say NNDM looks kind of healthy as well. A lot of volume picking up here. Yeah, it could be a VWAP bounce. Definitely something. I'm gonna move my limit order up a little bit. Here we go, PIXY potentially breaking up here. This is looking pretty good on PIXY. I like this potential break at 3.4, but I'd probably rather wait a little bit longer here. It's 10:01. Let's see what happens. Looking for a potential entry on NNDM at 122. Not sure if we'll get that. Had one attempt to break higher. Let's see if it does it on this attempt. Ooh, man, oh man, that is 27% basically since we got out. Oh, that's a little painful. That doesn't always happen, but when it does, you're just like, dirty, dirty. Still watching Kirk. I do think it could be quite interesting. Maybe a little reversal turnaround play at one point. It's a little bit tricky to get an entry on it, I gotta say. No second trade yet for me. Kirk tried to break a pretty critical zone and it started holding its highs a little bit again. So this one could be an interesting setup. PIXY also interesting. NNDM I think might be breaking right now. Nice, Terry. That's good to hear. Looks like PIXY might break that 15 level pretty soon at this rate. Look at that break. Wow, 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 wow. Pretty sweet breakout there. This is where the FOMO kicks on in to everyone that hasn't joined PIXY. Let's see what happens. That 14 level was a pretty critical zone to break out of. Looks like we're going to break 15 here. Already hit the high of 15. Whoo! Oh, Lord. I can't believe it. I mean, that was perfect. Sold too early on that one. Cut my losses. It's tough to say you cut your losses quickly because when you don't do it, it gets ugly very quickly. So I'm not too upset. I should have probably re-entered though pretty quickly here at 11. This is kind of what I was thinking about, potential re-entry. So I should have done that. Really, really sweet stuff on PIXY. I hope some of you guys got that good trade. I felt the same way about the PIXY news, but who knows? I don't know how big that chain is. Maybe it's a giant chain. They got restaurants all over the place. That would be my guess. Kirk could see a nice little bounce in this area. $10.06. PIXY just has a ridiculous amount of volume. We were talking about it potentially hitting 17, and it's looking more and more like it. Only 11 restaurants? Yeah, that's probably way overextended. The thing about PIXY though, guys, it has a tiny float. So this stock has the potential to make these big moves, much more than, you know, the stocks that this week we've been getting a lot of large cap stocks moving, you know, 100 million plus float. And those are very tough to move. NNDM potentially breaking out here. A little bit tricky to get an entry on it with the decimal places. A little tricky indeed. NNDM setting up here. PIXY pulling back. Man, that call out with NND, I felt like that breakout was pretty predictable. I actually tried twice to move my limit order and got rejected with the decimal places, and I was just like, I really don't like trading those stocks. But go figure, it actually would have been a really, really good move. Looks like PIXY could get halted here if it continues this downwards trend. It's kind of an aggressive move so far on it. I wouldn't really call PIXY an ABC move, no. OMP, gapper from yesterday, broke out to the upside. I gotta say, NNDM, man, over here just missing moves. Always a stressful position to be in on a day. How do you get multiple charts down the right tabs? I'm not sure what you mean by the right tabs, but if you want to detach a chart, just go here and detach, and then you can move this chart wherever you want. Hope that answers your question. DVAX looking healthy. Yeah, it did have a nice little reversal here. I think we could see some really nice little later activity, late morning. Really holding its highs nicely. It's up 40% on the day. Another kind of slow start for me. Unbelievable. Yeah, Kirk really did fade a little bit, huh? So far, PIXY really showing some good progress here, some good signs. 13.6 multi-month support and resistance. Could see a big bounce off this area. Again, I'd be a little careful at the 17, but we'll see what happens. DVAX breaking up. And NNDM. A bit of a fake out breakout here. So far, the kind of $6.87 area has been just abusively resistant towards the breakouts. Quick flash pull to 6.7. Some dip buyers came in there for sure. If I want to trade this, I'd be trading with about 140 position shares. That second pullback was quite strong. The problem is the bounces aren't percentage-wise exactly what I'm looking for. So if I was looking to trade DVAX, I would be looking for a bit more of a reversal from this area, actually. NNDM is actually doing exactly what I want. This is really the one I'm watching here. Had a few failed entries on it so far. All right, Lead Ride, good having you here, man. Watching NNDM, NDVAX. Man, hate missing moves like that. I gotta say, I feel like I've been watching NNDM this whole time, thinking, okay, here's a good spot, here's a good spot. Missed that entry, missed that entry. It's with these extended decimal places on TOS. Sometimes it's a little bit annoying. The way I get around it, if you're quick enough, is you just have to edit it. But my TOS has been a little bit glitchy, so actually editing the limit order has been taking kind of a long time. 10-15 so far. Really nice moves though on NNDM. Super, super nice. Nice, Rini. That's what I like to hear. Go ahead and remove this limit order. $155 breaking out again. Phew, what an absolute ripper. It's also a little bit too far from my ideal entry as well, Corey. A little bit unfortunate on that one. Kind of watching these things skip away from me a little bit. Ay, ay, ay. That is not okay. ABUS kind of back in the game here a little bit, holding this area. I just don't like that big resistance right above it. PIXY was really the right everything, just a little bit too early. Looks like NNDM might consolidate a little bit here and then maybe have a secondary attempt. Could be the first move higher here. NNDM pulling back a bit harder. PIXY doesn't look too bad as it's holding its highs a little bit. $14 big support and resistance zone, so kind of holding that area quite nice. Yep, OGEN pulling up for the first time, breaking the 15-minute EMA. Nice, decent volume on this one too. Could see it hitting that VWAP. I could definitely picture that. Speed development on coronavirus vaccine news. A lot of failed breaks to the upside, but a bit of a gap up here. I think 0.8 is definitely an area of interest. Good call. I don't like how Kirk is selling off just consistently here. Kirk breaking higher here. Let's see if we can get a quick little entry on the 48. Back at 52. Definitely a little bit tricky to get an entry on NNDM. Nice little move on it so far here. 7%. $53 trying to break out. Probably a good chance it will. I'm going to go remove that limit order because I would have already wanted to take half my position off the table. Here we go. Just rewatching this one again. This could be a break of 53. That's what I'm expecting. $53 getting chipped away. Here's the breakout. Boom! Hopefully somebody got that. I'm over here missing moves left and right. Ay, ay, ay. It's giving me a little bit of stress. Got to break the 57. See if we can get a new high on it. Did you get on that one? Art Studio AW, did you jump on that? I hope so. DVAX pulling back, Kirk still kind of in a weird limbo phase. NNDM looking good. Maybe it's going to be a little bit bigger, slower breakout. Maybe it's going to set up an ABC pattern. I don't know. Or it's just going to break out right here. So this one's been a little bit, I wouldn't say tricky to trade, just hard to get proper entries where you want them if you're using TOS. If you're using any other software, probably not hard at all. Kirk's still making some, or not Kirk, what am I talking about? NNDM. NNDM is the second lead gap around the day. PIXY's taking place number 1. We got TTOO as well. It's sub dollar. ABUS, kind of interesting. OGEN as well. I'm a little bit ashamed how sloppy I've been trading here. Some news just came out about rockets after heavy volume after a breakthrough in 3D printing on circuit boards. So good catalyst. People have tended to sell on catalysts though, but so far not selling too much. Heiko's trying for Kirk. Just a little light volume. NNDM might be seeing a proper pullback here. It's weird how the news typically creates a lot of selling. A quick way to do an entry on NNDM is just saying join the bid, obviously, or buying the market. Just a big spread on NNDM, so I try to avoid that. It's not my favorite way to enter a stock, but it is what it is. It is, however, a quick way to get the edit order button to show up very quickly, so that's quite nice. Yeah, I'm watching PIXY out of the corner of my eye as well. Got it right here. Looks like, yeah, third bounce off of VWAP so far, making a little bit of a triple bottom. We'll see what it does. Definitely fading volume, while NNDM has a bit more of increasing volume. I'm going to put an order at 41. Not sure if I'm going to get an entry there, but I'm just going to have one there for now. Might even put it lower to 39 depending on what we get here. And I'm still kind of sitting with my hands tied up here. So far, I haven't really jumped on anything besides PIXY. A little bit too early, missing that giant run to the upside, which is a little bit stressful. 40% move after I close my position. I mean, that's very rare when it happens that definitively, but there we go. OGEN breaking the downtrend from the wolf. PIXY pulling back here. Yeah, OGEN, really nice. Actually, this first one, when you somebody called it out in the chat room, this was actually a really nice potential entry here, breaking VWAP now. So pretty sweet stuff. Let's see if we can run to 0.8. Kirk pulling back again. 10.29, getting a little bit late here. Touching the 15-minute EMA right now on the 5-minute chart. FTK breaking higher, one of our lead gappers from yesterday. Or actually, it wasn't a lead gapper, it was just one of the gappers. Doing a decent little push here. $12 was quite a pivot spot for PIXY in the past. We had this breakout here, $12. We had VWAP kind of continuing here. We had a bit of a bounce here at 12. It was never, I would say, the strongest kind of pivot zone, but kind of an interesting thing to kind of just take note here. Thanks, Terry. Although I gotta say, I was too patient on NNDM getting that entry that I wanted here. NNDM pulling back. I like the catalyst that just came out about an NDM. I think it could create a nice little move on it. I think PIXY and NNDM might be having a little bit of a dead cat bounce, but I don't know. Could be a potential for one more little bit of dip. NNDM getting a bit more of that pullback that we've been waiting for. The amount of work you got to do for this stock is a little bit ridiculous, if you ask me. $42 getting chipped away. Not too much selling there. Potential entry here at the 41. $700 filled here. We got 700 shares at 141. Looking to trade a bounce off of 1.4. Fairly good news just came out about it. Still selling momentum is there. Would actually average down once. $45. Quite the significant sell volume here. Backside of a potential move. Got to be typically quicker on these. Decent amount of buyers on this one. Breaking the high, that's a nice indicator of a bounce. Breaking the high on the former candle. Could have averaged down a little bit quicker, but I didn't. Nice first new candle to make a high. Looking for a bit more sell volume and buying volume to come in here. Not really getting that continuation. I'm out of this trade for now. I didn't like the fact that the bounce was very light. Check out the volume on this one. Almost no volume on that bounce. So that's why I got out of this trade. Would have one more trade to do today if I could. Unfortunately, this was a scratch. My first trade was a almost looked like a scratch, but it was really more of a loss because it was over 4 or 3%. Yeah, I don't know. So far, not really my day. Although we have some decent moves, you know. A little bit of wrong timing for me. Here we go. This is a bit more of the pop to the upside that I was waiting for. You got to be quick on the backside of the bounces. Typically on the backside, I like to have a pure move of 5% and then get out. Every time I notice that it's weak, I don't have typically good results with it. But who knows? You know, it's not an exact science. So let's see. This one could move past 45. That's what I was waiting for. Low volume here though makes me a little bit nervous. So let's see what happens. Should be fun to watch. We got PIXY pulling back as well. Could have a double bottom here at 12. So on my other screen, just so you guys know what I'm always glaring over at, I got PIXY and I got NNDM kind of popping up here. Both stocks we traded today. Unfortunately, I kind of feel like I had 2 losses because this was kind of exactly what I was waiting for. And I was about to average down, didn't get that. So this was about a 5% move, perfect entry and exit. Those are tough. Those are the backside of the moves. And this is the front side right here. You got to be careful with these. They can really get you on the bad side quickly, but sometimes you can make a nice 3-4% off of them. So that's what I was waiting for. I was having issues though with NNDM all day today. Just because of the decimal places. So my entries have been slower, my exits have been slower. Here it is, and pulling back again. And this is what I was nervous of. I was nervous that this green candle was going to be actually this red candle. So luckily that didn't happen. I was able to get out. Raul is wondering why I quit trading crypto. I get that question a lot, and I've answered it several times, but I have not stopped trading crypto. I just day trade stocks more often because it moves quicker, it's cheaper, more volatile. Trading stocks is quite nice, actually. It's really, really nice. But I swing trade crypto all the time. Yeah, Nate, it's also too slow to stream. It's trading crypto is very, very slow. And there's no opening and closing time. So there's no like, you could be watching crypto for 8 hours straight and it could just be up and down 0.5%, you know? So you don't really know if you're going to stream it. It's basically impossible. So far, a bit of a slow day for me. I think NNDM is going to have a nice reversal, and I do believe there is a good chance it might break past 1.57 and maybe even run up to 2. Big resistance, but I think it's possible. Also, the selling really slowed down here. Buying slowed down as well, but NNDM could have a bit of a reversal here. I might re-enter it very soon. I'm also looking at PIXY for a potential dip buy at like maybe 11.5, maybe 11, maybe 10.5. It's hard to say. It's tough. Are you talking about this trade journal shirt? Yep. It's actually extremely comfortable, and it's a sweater. But it is good fun. The video description for the links on Skillshare, let me think about that for a second. There's like a discussion place, but ask any question that you have on Skillshare, and I see the questions and I always answer them. But thanks for bringing that to my attention. I'm sorry that I don't have a good answer, Raul, for the Skillshare links, but I thought they were there, but I actually don't know how it looks for a student. So maybe you have to click something. I don't know. I couldn't answer that. I'll check it out though. Thanks for that. Thanks for bringing my attention here. NNDM. Look at this. Oh man, this thing's just scratch central. I probably would have done something ridiculous on this and lost some money. Woo! Oh man, what a little roller coaster right now. This spread is huge. I wish I could reset this so the decimal places weren't all messed up. Would I re-enter at 139? I wanted to average down into 139 and build a proper position at 139. That was actually a bit of my goal. So yes, but at the same time, this was the move I was waiting for. And this is another kind of thing that's, I don't know. This is a little choppy now. I would have liked to trade this back to 145, this little VWAP bounce, back to the 15-minute EMA. That's really what I was waiting for. The spread is so big on NNDM. I just saw some like flood of likes coming in. I don't know if that was delayed for me or whatnot, but I appreciate that, guys. Hit the button above the zoom bar to scroll out. Are you talking about this one? What does that do anyway? Center view. Oh, realigns it, yeah. Just shows you how big it is. Oh boy, that's gonna get a "that's what she said" joke coming in. Markets are a little bit red. Usually I like when the markets are a little bit red for my day trading. Obviously it's not that great for my long-term investments, but for my swing trading, you know, these are usually good conditions. Ooh, NNDM pulling back here, back to, it just hit 138. Oh Lord. I honestly think these dips or these pullbacks on NNDM might be just great buying opportunities, but I could be totally wrong. This could break VWAP. If it breaks VWAP, we could probably see 1.3 pretty soon here. PIXY pulling back up, guys. Had a perfect double bottom at 12. And now it's riding back up here. 9% move on PIXY so far. Woo! That's a nice number. It's a little bit later in the day, 10:45. I feel like for the last few days I've been trading past 10:30. I don't really like it, to be honest. It's not something I enjoy doing. Big dip on Kirk. Oh yeah. Did you get that entry on Kirk? That was a big old dip. Change the quantity amount. Yeah, you could just type in the box. Ooh, NNDM. What is going on? I gotta say PIXY looks way more exciting, but they both look pretty good. Oh Lord. What is that gonna do? So far, nice little move here on PIXY. I don't like that big resistance at 14 right above it. Makes me a little bit nervous here. $12.80 might not hold. Big buyers though, or not big, but decent buyers on the $12.80. NNDM didn't sell off like we thought it might. VWAP holding again. NNDM having a nice little bounce actually. Yeah, good, valid point, Heiko. It's just sometimes like some of those bounces aren't worth dealing with. Perfect entry, perfect exit, make 2% or something like that. It's just, if anything, it's just more risk that you're kind of putting on the table, and it's not very nice. Whoo! Whoo! Look at PIXY. Quick little pullback there. Anyone get the NND bounce? Looks really, really nice. PIXY might get halted here if it keeps doing this unnecessary selling. Brr. My nose is itching. I don't like the historical chart of PIXY. It seems like all the time, every time it has one of these gap up days, it gives back a lot of its profits, which makes me a little bit nervous. Andre's long Kirk. The big thing that I have an issue with Kirk is just the fact that it's pulling off. Pre-market, it was past 30% down from its highs. It has low volume and it's just kind of trending to the downside right now. It could reverse. It could break back above the 15-minute. But until that happens, I don't know if a lot of traders are going to be looking at it. That's probably the biggest thing I would say. Man, I really should have traded pre-market today. I was like watching some of these tickers pre-market and I was like, that's a nice entry. Didn't trade because I typically don't trade pre-market, but I would have started the day pre-green if I just did that. So if I just see a good move, I'm just probably gonna go long, honestly. Smaller position size if it's outside my typical trading time, but it's better to get aggressive when you see a perfect setup than start FOMOing some worse setups later on in the day. Yeah, I guess a valid point, Andre. That's a little bit how I feel about it. If it keeps trending down, it's going to be less and less interesting for traders, which means it's going to keep on trending down. And that's a big, big issue. Another big issue is the fact that I have one trade left for the day, so I'm getting all sorts of weird emotions based on that arbitrary or artificial limit. My Firefox just disappeared. Or froze. I'm restarting it. Just froze again, actually. PIXY looks like it may pull back one more time here. Don't know what's going on with my Firefox, but it is a little bit out of service here, which means I don't see the chat room. Let's give that a little bit of time. Might look for another entry on NNDM. It's nice to see some buyers back in on this one. Put a very conservative limit order out for now, just in case we have a bit of a dip on it. which who knows, maybe we won't get. Still very light, very light volume. Okay, I don't know why my Firefox is not working, so now I'm using Chrome, which I like much more than Firefox, to be honest. But Firefox is what I use for trading typically, since I have less stuff on Firefox in terms of, what are they called? Extensions. Nice movement back in NNDM. Looking pretty good. Nice curl. It's 10:56 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, I'm back in the studio. Get brave, Powser, and get paid. Yeah, actually, that's not a bad idea, Liberty. It's not a bad idea. Am I bullish on any altcoins? I hold some Neo, but I don't know. It's tough to say. I typically don't spend my day looking through white papers on alts, though, so I'm probably not the person to ask. But I am holding some Neo. Yeah, I really like Chrome though. Firefox, but Chrome is a nice IVVY. Let me check this one out. Big old cracker on that, huh? What happened? Doesn't even have a catalyst today. This could be just a ginormous forced margin call. Doesn't have any news today. Whew. I feel bad. Somebody got, I think, squeezed out of their position. Somebody is having a really bad day. What? IVVY, huge run all the way to $15. Look at NNDM. Broke past the 15-minute EMA and instantly curling up here like no tomorrow. Where did that energy come from? Wow, 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 wow. Guys, this is looking good. 158, broke new high of the day, 161. Oh, I like this energy. I like what we're seeing. Huge, huge move there. Look at that 5-minute breakout. New 5 minutes starting soon here. 165. This thing is ripping. You gotta love the low float. 7.7 million. That's why NNDM and PIXY were kind of the most interesting today, just because the floats were tiny. They're south of 10 million. That's typically what we look for. Instantly rips. Wow. Whoo, 20% move, guys. That was a pretty solid deal there. Nice, Carmela. That's what I like to hear. Let's see what kind of pullback we get on this one. If we even get a pullback, this thing is just flying. Just hit 59, back at 1.6. Maybe we'll see a little bit of support here at 155. I don't really see it breaking past maybe 153. But that was a pretty strong move. Sometimes they have pretty strong pullbacks. Again, this stock is very annoying sometimes to get an entry on. All right, Nettie, have a good one. Art Studio. Possible entry on the 51. Not sure if we're going to get it. Not sure if it's even going to pull back there, but just having a limit order there. This could break past. This could just be a first pullback here. It's looking pretty strong and healthy. Back at 162. We got the beginning of this gap down area here at 89, so that's something to think about. We also have kind of 2.2 area, interesting zones. This could be the breakout here. Linking charts. Or 1, 2, 3. There's chart buttons here. You can add up to 3 charts on this screen. So there's chart, and there's chart 2, and there's chart 3. NNDM could have another pullback here. Could be a bit more of an ABC pattern on the 1 minute. Would really like to see a breakout here. Again, continuation. It's nice to have some momentum coming back in this one. Pulling back a little bit. 11:04 a.m. So far, only 2 trades for me, a little bit on the red for me on the day. Kind of missed a few good moves, then closed one of my positions right before a big move, which was a little unfortunate. Just click these charts. You can click these chart buttons. Like if I click chart 3, you'll see one of my charts disappear. There's chart 3, 2, and 1, or just chart. I'm gonna remove my limit order. Just kind of watch this one, play it by ear, either jump on the bid or the ask. One six. If this one breaks above 162, maybe 163, could be a really nice spot for a potential entry. That was quite a big move though it had. Back at 57 now, pulling back. This could be a little longer pullback that we're going to see. $11.07, big volume came back in this one. I think a lot of traders are looking at it. Buyers back on the 59. Oh, the spread is killing me on this thing, that decimal places. 160. Could we see 161? Instantly breaking higher here. Maybe we'll be able to get an entry here on the 160. Just going to close this position. Just kind of had it with this decimal places on this one. Let's see what we can get. I think this could keep running here. This looks pretty healthy. This could flash down, try to get people on the wrong side of the trade. It's almost like too clean. PIXY pulling back up again. Bigger volume came back on that one. Yeah, it's a good thing I closed my limit order. Basically, I was just kind of getting fed up with this stock a little bit here. And I felt like I would have been pretty annoyed if it didn't break out. So I was like, there's a lot of emotions behind the way I'm trading right now. So I'm just going to close my limit order because this is kind of ridiculous. Usually I'm I'm not thinking like that when I enter a trade. Boom. Okay, so that was a good idea. PIXY and NNDM still elite gappers on the day. PIXY pulling back a little bit more after a kind of a failed breakout here. Moved a little bit slower than expected, especially after such a nice run up. Volume back on PIXY, breaking past 12.4. Pulling back again. Might look for an entry on it. We can get one more pullback on that. I'd probably be interested. PIXY, kind of interesting as well. No new news here, besides the one that came out about 40 minutes ago. $11.13, guys. Wow, this is one of the later times I've traded for. A little bit of on the downside when you're doing a challenge and you're trading with a cash account, because then you're trying to optimize how much you're trading every day, which sometimes makes you do things you might not otherwise do. Like I think if I was already past the $25,000 challenge and we were in a margin account with unlimited trades, I probably would have took those pre-market trades, just reduced my position size, and then probably by 10 o'clock I would have just wrapped it up for the day. So it's a little bit tough. Tristan says, careful, it's getting close to lunchtime. Yeah, that's why I almost always wrap up trading by 10:30 or 11, because the late morning is a little bit trickier to trade. You get a lot of failed breakouts, a lot of failed moves, just like the one we saw. I would like to see this pull back a little bit more here. What I'm really waiting for is to be able to enter on the order book. Otherwise, it's really, really tricky to enter an NNDM. Christopher, yeah, man, I feel you 100%, man. That was basically the same with me on it. Uh, but yours was, yeah, yours was even nicer. It was ready for that, you know, right before the explosion. It's annoying missing those moves, and today I kind of missed those moves. I think I'm gonna kind of give the market a little bit here, wait for some of these setups maybe to have a bit clearer entry points. I think NNDM is a good candidate for a secondary move. I think on the 5 minute, this could be a very nice pullback that we're seeing. I'm just not really sure, and I would like to see a bit more signs of confirmation on it. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for. Nice, happy to hear, Daniel. So it's looking pretty good on NNDM. A little bit of volume coming back in. All right, guys, I don't know how long this is going to go. I don't think it's going to take too long. This could be a good setup here in the next 5, 10, 15 minutes. It's hard to say, but I'm going to wrap up trading anyway. I'll probably make one more trade before or after the recap video. But for now, I need to at least massage my eyes for a little bit, look at something else, maybe look out the window. And then I'll either continue trading or I won't. I'll just wrap up on the day. Yesterday, I got 2 more trades in after the live stream, which is quite unusual for me, but sometimes it happens. But you know, that's just how it is. If I'm, you know, looking at it occasionally and I see a perfect setup, then I'm going to jump in. If I don't, I don't. But I just don't know how long it's going to take for now. So guys, it was good fun trading with you guys all today. Again, unfortunate I didn't get that right. Nice round in PIXY, but I know some of you guys had some phenomenal trades, so that's pretty sweet. Always good to learn from you guys as well. I'm looking for a bit of a trend reversal in terms of breaking this little downwards trend, maybe a break past 1.6. I'm looking at the 5-minute chart to make a new high. So we see a higher candle here and then maybe a 1-minute pullback somewhere in this area and then a break of 167. I don't know. It's really hard to say. And sometimes, you know, a few seconds or some activity in the order book will change my mind totally. So it's really hard to give you guys a play-by-play of, you know, what I might do after the stream. But I just kind of wanted to fill you guys in on my thoughts so far. All right, guys, till next time. If you're new here, don't forget, we come out with a recap video, so definitely hit that subscribe button so you get a notification. If you like the content, don't forget to leave a like. I will see you guys first thing tomorrow. I got 2 monitors, Tristan, and maybe a third one would be nice, but two is probably all you really need. For streaming, 3 would be nice because then I would see the chat room easier. See you guys.